YouTube, how's it going? Now, we have recently hit 500 subscribers. I mentioned it in another video, but I said when I hit 500 subscribers, I'll be doing a Q&A and answering every one of your guys' questions, which is what I'm doing today. Although we hit 500 recently, we're now at like 540, which is awesome. So the next milestone is 1,000. So if you haven't subscribed already, hit that button. I've got quite a lot of questions, and I said I'd answer everything you guys have to ask, so we'll get right into it. This is my laptop, by the way, pretty neat. First question from Tisla XO. What made you get into sneakers, collecting them and stuff? I've been into shoes like quite a long time now. Even before I was into streetwear, I was really into shoes. They've always sort of been not a big thing around my area, but I guess it's everywhere. It's nice. It's cool to have like a good pair of shoes as such. Collecting wise, I was just sort of a hobby. I mean, I loved having new shoes. I loved well, not necessarily new, but new to me. Even before streetwear, I was into what I wore, like fashion wise, and you know, wanted to look fly, and it just sort of went from there, I guess. Cesar Paccio, what sneaker do you regret not copying? Okay, so the Yeezy 750 Greys, like the first ones came out it was 2015, like right at the start of 2015, like January, February time. I was into shoes at this point. I wasn't really into streetwear, but I was into shoes at this point. But I didn't even try and get the 750s. I don't know why. I must have been doing something for some reason. I just don't remember trying to get them, which obviously I regretted because I did like them. I thought they were a cool shoe. The Turtle Doves came out the middle of last year, 2015. I had me and my sister on our computers trying to get a pair. This was the first 350 release, so no one knew how limited they were going to be. Obviously everyone wanted a pair, but no one was sure how many were coming out. We was on our computers, and my sister's computer had a size 10.5 come up, and it was literally as soon as we got on the site, like as soon as they started like giving sizes to people, and she got 10.5. Obviously we were both trying for me, and I was just like, because it was happened straight away, so I was like, okay, just go back. If it's come that quickly, then we could get like my size, because I'm the size 8, so I don't want a size 10.5. Obviously now looking back at it, yes, I would have just got the 10.5 and sold them, or traded them, or kept them until now and sold them for like over $1,000. So yeah, I really do regret not buying them when I had the chance. Bradley G, reverse shutter backboards or the originals? I said in the video when I picked them up the other day from my Crep City video that I was starting to prefer the reverse ones, but I think that was just because I have them. I do prefer the originals. N7, if you were to choose only 5 sneakers to keep in your collection, which ones would you get? Does that mean keep in your collection, but then he says get? Does that mean would you get to keep in your collection, or would you keep in your current collection? In my current collection, I keep my Supreme 98s, my reverse shattered backboards, my 350s, my Comme des Garçons Converse, and probably my Gucci sliders. BRVNDXN, Brevendixen. What made you start YouTube? Now, people I went to school with and people close to me only really know this, but I've been making videos from when my friend James first got a computer. He got a Mac, and we used iMovie to make videos. Not to do with fashion at all, we made videos about whatever we could. I had a channel, made like sort of mini films. I then started to make like vlogs. I've always loved video editing, and I had a big gap from when I finished college to when I started my job, and in that time is when I started this YouTube channel because I wanted to do something productive as such. I've always wanted to make videos, always liked editing. I had some equipment that I could have used. I had a hobby, I had sort of a niche that I can make videos about, so that's how it was born.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
If it would be possible to meet any company founder of a hypebeast company, who would it be? Kanye. Pretty self-explanatory. That was Levin S, by the way, didn't say name, sorry. Ali the Lefty Lads. Hey Fred's Treads, what was your first hype shoe purchase? Hey Ali the Lefty Lad. My first hype shoe purchase, now my first shoe purchase to do with fashion, like a shoe I actually went and bought out to go sort of with what I wear, not just for the sake of buying shoes to not walk around in bare feet, was a pair of Vans old schools. But hype wise, Jordan Bred 4s was probably my first big purchase as such. Harry Bradshaw, what is your favourite piece of clothing / trainers that you have ever copped? Trainers, Pirate Blacks. I don't have them anymore. I really regret selling them. Clothing, I had a Rizzoli box logo at one point, which is one of the rarest Supreme box logos. And not only that, I had it in a size small, which if you know anything about Supreme, smalls do not come around often. I had one of them in a size small, a very, very rare t-shirt. But yeah, I still don't think it was my favourite. Probably like my favourite thing to wear is like their Miltech camo trousers at the moment. They're like the cheapest thing in my whole collection, but I really like wearing them. Jacob Perisac, favourite brand? I don't necessarily have a favourite brand because like every brand will have something I probably don't like. I buy what I like, but to say the company that had the most things that I like is probably Supreme. Dre Ritchie, how much of current culture influenced fashion? Massively, massively. Now Supreme and Palace, they're skate brands, but it used to be a big thing, like, and people used to get annoyed about it, I don't know why, but if you didn't skate, if you wore Supreme and Palace, but now I'm pretty sure more people don't skate who wear it than do. If a culture, so sort of streetwear is a culture itself, and if someone like high up in this culture, Kanye, or just big names in streetwear and fashion, wear something different, or you know, make something, it influences fashion because brands make similar things. I don't really know sort of how to answer that question. Fashion is a culture itself now, so that much that it has become its own thing. Jordan Lee, what is your actual job? I am a social and digital marketing apprentice for a construction company. Vincent Amick, how are you able to spend that much money on fashion? I really adore fashion too, but the money I earn is not enough to live the sneaker game like you do. Good question, Vincent. If you really are into it, then you do. I've always been like that. I'm not one to waste money, but I'm not so protective of it. Like if I like something, I'll buy it. I probably have a lot less money than you guys think I do. You see me buy all these stuff, but you don't ever sell me see anything. I don't keep everything I buy. Don't spend so much money that it's sort of like dangerous to you, that you can't live while being into streetwear and stuff. Once again, I don't really know how to answer that question. I'm able because I just do it. I'm into it. It's my hobby. People have hobbies. Mine is clothes and shoes, so I spend my money on it. Your gaming, what is your favourite Supreme collab of all time, and also Palace or Supreme? My favourite Supreme collab of all time is probably, now there's a few, I can't just have one. It's either that Supreme Stone Island Anorak pullover, I love that, or the North Face Supreme Maps jacket. No, my favourite Supreme collab of all time is the, I would say, red Supreme TNF checkered pullover. Maybe the yellow one though. Palace or Supreme? Palace. No, fuck Supreme. Arshad Ullah, what do you think makes a brand successful? Good question. I think the problem now is people who want to make their own brand, make a logo, no matter how good the logo is, they'll put it on a t-shirt, they'll put it on a hat, they'll put it on a jumper, and be like, oh, this is our brand. I don't own a brand, so obviously I'm not gonna like be too criticism, because if I knew how to make a perfect brand, I'd have one. I do think though, especially at how big the culture of streetwear is, it's who you get to wear your brand, it's how you market it. There are big people in the streetwear community, and if they wear a t-shirt, you always see posts like, oh, ID on this, like where can I get this from? And there are people who, even if they like not to like it, just if someone's worn it, they want it. And there are so many people who want to make brands now. You really have to be different, do something that is different, but then you don't want to be too different. Like there's that sort of thing that's being like edgy, where you make like, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. People just try and be a bit too different to the point where it's awkward and cringy. But then again, if you're just like, this is our t-shirt, you need to sort of have, not a campaign, but another side than just clothing. You need to be able to sell your brand, like marketing wise, doing something different. Jacob Burgess Tupling, what is your favourite shop for shoes and or streetwear? Dover Street Market, DSM probably, or Selfridges, just because they have so much. Selfridges more for shoes because it has Offspring, and shops like Offspring and Foot Patrol, you know, there's the variety of shoes they have is a lot better than just like a Foot Locker or whatever. DSM, you know, it's got Palace, it's got Gosha, whatever you want to call it. It's got Comme des Garçons, but then Selfridges has Bape, Off-White. I like them both. Jamie Daly, if you could have your own streetwear brand, what would it be called? That's not something you just think of on the spot. If I was to make a streetwear brand, that's like one of the most important things, what you want to call it. It's not the most important thing, but you know, you've got to stick with that name, so it needs some thinking. The name of your brand should have some involvement with what you're doing. So if you're thinking of starting a brand, you shouldn't think of the name first. Like, you should come up with some ideas, how you're gonna market it, and you could come along something that, I don't know, because I'm looking at a Switch right now. I'm gonna call it Swick, coming soon. Arjan, Palace or Supreme? Supreme. Broken, how you earn money to spend on Preem? A job. Composure, what's your favourite overall brand? If Palace or Supreme, what other one? So if Palace or Supreme, what other one? So I said Supreme. What other brand? I'll say Bape, just because they do like some great stuff. Tisla XO, again, what made you get into the sneaker / hype community? Now, when I was into shoes, I was really into a rapper called G-Eazy. You might know of him, he's quite big now. He gets a lot of hate, but no one can really knock him because he did a lot to get where he is now. I wish he still did some of the stuff he used to do, like over that. I'm not a massive fan of the new stuff, but he got me into, oh yeah, basically, what am I saying? He wore Bape and Supreme, and that made me get my first Bape t-shirt. It was a Baby Milo t-shirt with just the Baby Milo in front with the camo on, and that's what got me into the community. Dylan Jones, what was your first pair of decent shoes? So I said the first pair of shoes I bought for fashion wise was old school Vans, but then the first pair of like hype shoes were Jordan Bred 4s. Nat Ollie Lewis, what's your view on the stuff Edged do? Good question, Nat Ollie Lewis. So what I know of Edged, they have a shop, I think it's in Old Street, like underground. They're a streetwear shop, they stock brands. I'm not sure what brands they stock, but I'll put some of them on the screen now. The cool thing they do is they have their own line, so they make Edged clothes, but they print their stuff on Champion clothes, which I think is sick. If you watch the Unknown vlogs, he's a vlogger, like a big streetwear vlogger. He like has a good involvement with Edged, he's there quite a bit, and he wears them, and yeah, it's their own clothes, but it's just like printing like your logo here, but it's on a Champion jumper or a Champion hoodie. I really like the idea. I've never bought something, I've never really seen anything for sale from there, but I think it's cool. What's the most expensive sneaker you've bought, and do you still have it? I spent £890 on a pair of turtle doves. I sold them a week later for about $9.50, I think it was. So no, I don't still have it. Joe Austin, what was your first piece of Supreme / Palace, and when did you get it? My first piece of Supreme was just a t-shirt with the small box logo. You know, like it's like here. When did I get it? 2015, early 2015, which is when like the community was like still really small. It was getting bigger. I joined it when it was getting bigger, but like compared to now, like it was nowhere near as big. Jamie Daly, have you already, or do you think you will ever start collecting designer toys like Bear Brick? Possibly. For the moment, I'd rather spend money on like clothes and shoes, but I've always liked collecting things, and yeah, possibly. N7, do you think designer clothwear is overhyped? Bape Supreme, Palace, Gucci, etc. By the way, keep up the great work. Thank you. Okay, so the Bape NMDs released this morning in Offspring in Selfridges. I don't like these at all. I wouldn't buy these if they were selling for 150, which I generally thought they were going to sit for some reason, because from past Bape times Adidas collaborations, they've like sat. But I was looking through Facebook this morning, these are selling for like 700, 800 pounds, which I generally think people are only buying because it's Bape. I don't like the shoe at all, if I'm honest. I don't like, fair enough, yeah, cool to the people who do like it. If you talk about one of the biggest hyped things this year, NMDs, and you mix it with a streetwear brand like Bape, I guess, yeah, that sort of says it was going to cost a lot of money, but I just can't imagine the price if they were priming it. I don't know how to answer that one. Things can be very hyped, but then there's a reason the thing is hyped. Like, people always say, oh, you're a hype beast because you have this item, but you might generally like it, or the reason it is hyped is because a lot of people like it, so it's not actually a bad thing though, is it? Music remixer, fuck. Okay guys, I just realised the time. I'm getting my hair cut in like 5 minutes, and it's like a 10-minute drive.